And welcome, everyone. A very pleasant good afternoon here, live from the campus of Brevard College. BC softball Tornadoes taking on the Southern Virginia Knights after both teams fell yesterday in doubleheaders, respectively. Brevard at home against Mary Baldwin and Southern Virginia on the road at Pfeiffer, both dropping 2 games in a 2-game set. Tornadoes sit at 6-12 overall, 2-2 at home after the doubleheader yesterday. Southern Virginia sitting at 4-14, 0-2 in conference play. And like I said, they were swept at Pfeiffer yesterday, March 29th. On the mound for the Tornadoes is going to be Logan Masinski. On the mound for Southern Virginia will be Ariana Hall. Tornadoes going to try and sweep this doubleheader today against the 4-14 Knights here at home. Don't go anywhere, folks. Back here in just a moment. Action just a couple of minutes away. And welcome everyone back here from the BC softball field. Tornadoes just about ready to do action. We had the first pitch from our president, Deb Deanna, or
Dean of Students.
Dean of Students. Correction to, apologies to President Andrews, but Tornadoes nonetheless ready to do battle against the Knights here. I am joined by my counterpart, Eli Carr. Eli, first time having you on a softball call. How does it feel to be out here?
I'm excited, Brady. I think it's going to be something new, something fun. I'm excited to get for the experience.
You know, Eli actually was in attendance yesterday for the Tornadoes softball game, was offering his support and rallying the troops over in left field. Actually was donning a toga, if I saw that correctly.
That is correct, Brady. I'm a fashion god, if you will.
Absolutely. You know, like I was telling Joseph and Phil yesterday, there's no party like a toga party, so we respect and appreciate all that you do to get the BC fans fired up. And now we're fired up as the softball is ready to begin here, and it'll be Logan Masinski on the mound, and she will start things off with Chloe Nelson, the center fielder for the Knights. And the first one misses low. It'll be Nelson, the center fielder, Maddie Lloyd, the right fielder, and then Dykel Jones, the second baseman. Masinski comes home with a 1-0. Misses upstairs. And it'll be important for Masinski. Something that Abby Delp yesterday in game one of the doubleheader struggled with was staying ahead in the count and not having to work from behind consistently. I think that's one thing that really hurt Abby yesterday.
Absolutely. It gives the batter such a big advantage while they're in the box.
That one way high. And it's a 3-0 count to start things off. Olivia Martinez behind the dish, going back to get that one. Infield from left to right is Harlow, Hooper, Locklear, and Winkler. Same unit as yesterday. Outfield, a little bit of a switch. Wilborn and Queen switch. Carly Queen in left, Wilborn in center, with Peyton Wise in right. The 3-0 from Masinski is right down Broadway for her strike of this one.
It's a really windy day down here.
It is. I think we're playing in Chi-Town or something. See the dirt flying across over our beautiful football practice field. And now the 3-0 fouled off over to the right side. A lot of great memories on that field. Some recent.
Yes, indeed, Brady. Yes, indeed.
Full count here now for Masinski. Trying to battle back here from down 3-0. And the payoff pitch is in the dirt for ball 4. And Nelson will hustle over to first just to make sure that Tornadoes aren't sleeping out there. And so now here comes Maddie Lloyd after a leadoff walk. Masinski, a freshman, sitting at 1-2 on the year, 8 appearances for her, 4 starts. This is start number 5. An ERA just north of 8, so trying to bring that one down here today. Tornadoes pitching as a whole has struggled, and Masinski fires a strike in there. A big secondary lead by Chloe Nelson over at first. Tornadoes sitting at 6-12 overall, 2-2 at home. Yesterday was just the second time the Tornadoes have played on their home field. The first was back at the end of February against Wesleyan.
Very similar to our baseball team, too. It's been a little while since our baseball team's been at home.
And that one's in the dirt. Martinez, a nice block. And now she's got the runner caught up. Throw down to second. Hooper corrals the throw and cannot get the tag down. They had Chloe Nelson dead to rights, and Martinez couldn't deliver a throw where Hooper needed it to place a tag, and it's a stolen base for Chloe Nelson. All of a sudden, Southern Virginia with a runner in scoring position and nobody out here in the top of the first. I think if you're Martinez there and you have that runner caught up like that, you got to make that play. 1-1, showing bunt. Masinski lays it down, and they're going to rule that it hit at the plate first, and it's going to be an out. That's going to be it for Maddie Lloyd. So it'll be an interference call against Maddie Lloyd. Touched it after exiting the box. So that's out number 1 for Masinski, and then immediately Dykel Jones pops one straight back. Jones, the second baseman for these Knights. And yeah, like you were talking about, Eli, with the baseball team, feel like we kind of got the shaft. They played 2 different series while we were on spring break at home.
Yeah, we haven't been able to announce a lot recently, Brady.
I know it. The 0-1, way outside. Martinez has to go out of her way to corral it. Now 1-1 count to Dykel Jones. On deck is Katie Clater, the shortstop for Southern Virginia. 1-1. Same exact spot as the last one, 2-1 now. Masinski's looking like early on she needs to focus on bringing her pitches down.
Yeah, a little down and in.
It seems like maybe a little bit of overcorrection because at first she spiked a few in the dirt and now they're up on the top floor. The 2-1. A good pitch just misses, 3-1. A little bit of off-speed action there from Masinski. Now behind 3-1 to the 3-hole hitter, Dykel Jones. Masinski takes a look over at the Tornado dugout. Now the 3-1 is chopped. Foul ground to the left side, and now the count runs full once again. Southern Virginia dugout getting into it early, sensing that they could take an early lead possibly with 1 away and a runner on second. Payoff pitch from Masinski is roped but foul. That one probably would have plated the first Southern Virginia run of the game. Instead, it's to the left of the third base line.
Yeah, that was really good contact there, though. Might not want to bring that pitch back in that area.
Tornadoes donning the black and blue uniforms today. Southern Virginia in the red and white with the pinstripe pants. Another payoff offering is upstairs. So Masinski loses her second batter to a walk. And walks have been an issue for Masinski. A strikeout to walk ratio coming into today of just 8 strikeouts and 18 walks. Now make it 8 strikeouts and 20 walks.
Yeah, it's tough when you're walking batters at that high of a rate. It's tough to get outs.
This one, a bunt placed down, but in foul territory, didn't get ahead of where she wanted it. And for Masinski, obviously, as we mentioned, though, a freshman, not a lot of experience. Maybe, you hate to say it this early in the year, but maybe one of those growing years, not necessarily a year that the Tornadoes are going to go out and win the USA South and go 15-2 in conference or whatever it is, but a lot of young players to develop. 0-1, set on the ground. Harlow has it right on the third base line, steps on the bag and throws to first, but it is a foul ball.
Yeah, and development's a huge part. I mean, I'm looking at, I believe, 5 freshmen maybe? I
Yep.
think it's about 4 or 5
Mackenzie
freshmen.
Wilborn, Peyton Wise, Jaden Harlow, Riley Locklear, and then Reagan Winkler, not a freshman, but a transfer who is new to this program. Masinski in the circle as well. That one sent in the air, right center field. Coming up underneath it is Wilborn. She will not make the grab. It's in and out of the glove. Locklear with a heads-up play, a throw to third. Harlow has it. They will get the lead runner. It does work out, so will be a fielder's choice. 9-5. Not one that you score very often. There's out number 2. Wilborn, that's the second time we've seen that in the last 2 days. Her coming up under a routine fly and just not being able to squeeze it. She had a couple of defensive miscues yesterday.
Might have had the wind might have had some effect because that did get pretty high up.
Possibly either the wind or the sun. Something yesterday had the outfielders on both teams struggling on some of their jumps and reads as that one misses downstairs. But Wilborn yesterday was in left field. It had a couple of defensive miscues and now moved into center today. Not sure if there's a correlation or if they just want to get Wilborn more reps out there in center. The 1-0 from Masinski. Breaking ball drops but misses the zone, and now Martinez will throw behind the runner. Jones over at first, or Claytor rather. Nothing doing though. 2-0. Top of the first, 2 away. Runners on first and second for Southern Virginia as Logan Masinski is behind 2-0 to Sophia Bedell. The 2-0 way upstairs is going to get to the backstop. Both runners will move up, and Jones will round third but stay put.
again, I think right here, someone just has to calm her down. Just start to take a deep breath. You know, I mean, it's so important, but it's also very hard to remember yourself and hold yourself accountable in that factor of, hey.
Absolutely. Even as someone who didn't play at the higher levels of baseball, just remembering as a kid when you're pitching and it's not going well, it's one of the loneliest places on earth out there as Masinski misses for ball 4 and the bases are loaded now. Third walk of the inning for Logan Masinski. And it'll bring up Chloe Persinger, the third baseman. But yeah, it's obviously if you can't make your pitches to get outs, it can get really frustrating, and sometimes those things can compound. But luckily for Masinski, still a goose egg on the scoreboard here in the top of the first and just 1 out away from sending the NATO bats up. First pitch popped up. Right side, Winkler underneath it, and she squeezes it for out number 3. Masinski runs into trouble with a trio of walks, but does not end up paying for it. We head to the bottom of the first, scoreless here between the NATOs and the Knights. Home half of the first here. NATO's coming out to the bat. Carly Queen, Mackenzie Wilborn, and Jaden Harlow. The 3 due up for Brevard. And on the mound for Southern Virginia, or not on the mound, apologies, I'm in baseball mode. In the circle for Southern Virginia is Ariana Hall. Hall, a lefty, and she gets the outside corner with her first offering of the day. 1-3 for Hall on the year. 6 appearances, 4 starts, an ERA just under 5.5. 10 strikeouts and 6 walks in her 6 appearances. Hall also in the lineup as the 9-hole hitter. As that one poked to the right side for a leadoff single. Carly Queen is aboard. The right fielder, Maddie Lloyd, came up firing to first, thinking she had a shot at Queen. She did not. And something that we kept mentioning yesterday, we never saw Carly Queen when she got on base take off, but entering yesterday's games, Carly Queen 4th in the USA South in stolen bases, so don't be surprised if you see her try and run anytime you see her get on here today.
Yeah, and she looks quick, running down the first base line, so probably has some correlation to it, Brady.
Here's Wilborn, shows bunt, pulls back, and Queen is looked back by Maddie Christensen behind the plate. Mackenzie Wilborn leading the team in average as a freshman, entering the weekend at a 380 clip. This time Queen does go, and it's ripped up the middle for a base hit. Queen will round second and stay put in. No, it's bobbled in center field by Nelson. Queen around third. She's going to come in to score. Heading for third is Wilborn, and she will get in there standing up. A 1-0 Tornado lead to get things going. It'll be an RBI single with an E8 that allows Carly Queen to come across, and 2 batters in, the NATOs have a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that was a rip. I mean, she roped that right back up the middle, man.
It was a little bit of hit-and-run action, it looked like, and it worked.
I couldn't really see what happened out there in center field, though.
Just a bobble. Chloe Nelson just went up to grab it, fumbled it, and kept fumbling it around. Gave Carly Queen too much time to go from really second to home, but first to home. Breaking ball drops in there for strike 1 here to Jaden Harlow. Harlow with 4 home runs on the year. She's 4th in the conference, also top 10 in slugging and RBIs across the conference as a freshman.
This is one of those players that we were just talking about in the field. Good to have around, good to develop, especially with she putting up those numbers as a freshman.
That one hit in the air, right field. Coming on and making the grab is Maddie Lloyd. Wilborn going to tag up. The throw to the plate is in time. Wilborn is thrown out at home, and a hose piece there by Maddie Lloyd. A one-hopper to the catcher is able to get Wilborn dead to rights. So a 9-2 double play. Has the bases empty with 2 away now for Reagan Winkler. Not sure if I would have sent Wilborn there, but Wilborn, the top of the order hitter, likely one of the speedier players in this team. Can't hate on this decision too much, but with 1 out, that didn't really seem deep enough to go as Winkler takes ball 1.
Yeah, that's tough. I think it's really tough. I don't know how else to describe it because you're sitting there thinking, hoping you go get this 2-run lead right here with that sac fly, but
Winkler gets underneath one there and misses. 1-1. And I think that if that ball is hit to left field, you do send. But right field, it's a tougher play. It's the angles there makes it a more advantageous throw for a right fielder than a left fielder. 1-1 here to the Tornado first baseman is on the outside corner for strike 2, and Winkler going to have to protect here. Try and keep the line moving here in the top of the first. NATO's holding a 1-0 lead. After an RBI for Mackenzie Wilborn. The 1-2. Pop straight up and back out of play towards us. Winkler, a transfer from Caldwell Community College. First year with the NATOs. 1-2. Is ripped into left field. It's going to drop for a 2-out single. Winkler got a big piece of that one.
That was a really good swing. That's a good way to start the day after having the tough day at the plate she had yesterday. So maybe that's a good confidence booster for her as well as the other NATOs.
Really nice 2-strike approach there from Winkler. Now here's Riley Locklear, who went 2 for 3 in yesterday's ball game. Had some really nice defensive plays as well over at second base, including a leaping grab. First pitch to Locklear is sent back up the middle. It's corralled. The throw on to first is in time. Just hanging on to it there was the first baseman, Sophia Bedell. Tornadoes push 1 across off of a single and an error, and they lead it 1-0 as we head to inning number 2 here from Brevard. Top of the second, Maddie Christensen, the Southern Virginia catcher, to lead things off. NATO's leading it 1-0 after Carly Queen came across on the Mackenzie Wilborn base hit. And so now Logan Masinski, we'll see if she settles down a little bit here in the second, holding a lead, albeit a 1-run lead.
It's just about building confidence in the young pitchers, the young batters, whatever. Your young players. It's just about building the confidence in them.
100%. That one misses high and outside to start things off to Christensen. After her, it's Malia Davis and then the pitcher, Ariana Hall. Long pause from Masinski. Now takes a look down at the wristband for the call. And the 1-0. Tapped down the third base line, but foul. Count evened at 1 apiece. A nice day here in Brevard. A little bit windy, like you said, but sun is shining and there is ball to be played.
Good day for a cold Coke and some sunflower seeds.
Absolutely. 2 balls and a strike. After that one is in the dirt from Masinski. Hitters count here for Maddie Christensen. And that one sent in the air. Left field, Queen backpedaling on it, and she'll glove it for out number 1. That one hung up for a while.
Yeah, it did. It was up there for a while. I was thinking the same thing, Brady. She tracked it very well out there, though, in left field.
Queen, typically the center fielder, from what I've seen, getting some action here today in left, though, as we said, with Wilborn manning the center field position. With a 1 away, here's Malia Davis, the designated player, and she wastes no time lining one, but straight to Carly Queen. Now, how about that? Carly Queen getting some good action here in the second, and there's 2 down with nobody on for Southern Virginia.
Now batting the pitcher number 8.
So it'll be Ariana Hall, the pitcher for the Knights, in the lineup here.
Pitchers who rake.
There it is. Southern Virginia opting to go with the flex player today that plays in the field but does not hit. And so they can have the pitcher Hall in the lineup who takes strike 1. The 0-1 coming from Masinski. And that one's whacked in the air to center field. Wilborn is going to come underneath it and can't make the grab once again. A throw into second is going to not get Hall. Gabby Hooper can't apply the tag, and the runner is safe. So just defensive miscues all the way around on that one.
Now batting center field number 3.
Yeah, that was a weird play. I don't know what happened there.
There's going to be an E8, and second time we've seen a ball ricochet off Wilborn's glove, third time in the last day.
Yeah, but even then she got the throw in, and it looked like just a missed tag.
Yeah, I think there were
Interesting play.
2 miscues there, as I said, as that one's hit in the air. Left field, Queen is not going to be able to track that one down. It's to the wall. Carly grabs it on the track, throws it in, and it'll be a RBI double for Chloe Nelson. Southern Virginia starting to get the bat on the ball a little bit more consistently, and now they've tied this one up in the second inning at 1 apiece.
Yeah, and you gotta think all we had to do was catch that ball, the hit before that one, and we're out of the inning, and that run doesn't score.
You got to feel for Masinski was that close to a 1-2-3 inning in about 4 or 5 pitches, and instead Wilborn couldn't hang on in center field, and directly after that RBI double, that just shows things like errors and walks will kill you. And that goes for any team, not just Brevard and not just softball either.
Now batting right fielder number 17, Maddie Moore.
Absolutely, Brady.
So now Masinski gearing up to face Maddie Lloyd, the right fielder, who was called out on a batter's interference earlier attempting to bunt. First pitch from Masinski misses low. And it's one thing that's always been harped on to me is you can't give teams extra outs. Heard that from every coach I've probably ever met. 1-0. Is sent lightly on the ground over to Harlow. She throws on to first, and Winkler squeezes it for out number 3. So Southern Virginia does get an opportunity and takes advantage of it, pushing a run across to tie this thing up. But that's where it'll stay, 1 apiece, as we head to the bottom of the second. Christ, Wise, and Hooper when we get back. Bottom of the second here, NATO's coming to the plate. Summer Christ, the designated player, heading into the box to start things off here in the bottom half of inning number 2. Hall back to work, and her first pitch misses outside.
That was close. That was almost a strike, though. Daggone. I was right there on the outside corner. I thought it was a strike.
1-0 is chopped over to third. Picking it up is Persinger. Her throw on to first is not going to be scooped. Sophia Bedell couldn't reel it in, and the leadoff runner is aboard. It's going to go as an E5 against Chloe Persinger. And so it'll be Peyton Wise. Wise went 1 for 3 yesterday. Actually drove in one of the only 2 tornado runs. And that was back in the second inning of that ball game. Tornadoes went from the end of that inning up until the 7th without scoring. Obviously hoping not to run into a similar scoring drought today. And now we got a stoppage here. Ump checking his scorecard and everything, making sure we're good. And it looks like we are, as Wise takes a few practice hacks before stepping in. Christ, the leadoff batter, is aboard after the error. Hall's first offering fouled right over towards Gabby Hooper in the on-deck circle. And, you know, with baseball, obviously there's an innate difference between facing a right-hander and a left-hander, and I'm sure that the same goes for softball. But I would be interested to hear the insight of these players in what exactly that difference is. Is it the spin rates that lefties create? What is it when it comes to this game?
Yeah, I'd be curious to me as well, because I was thinking about that when I saw the first inning. We had a lefty pitcher for here today. And you got to think, I mean, everything's probably still going to be coming in, you know, from that side, which is a little different than baseball.
Right.
Whereas if you're facing a lefty and you're a right-handed hitter, it's tailing away most likely.
Southpaw action. Everybody loves a lefty. The 2-1 here to Wise is low and out. A throw behind the runner, Chris, at first is going to be nowhere close as she dives back in to the bag. 3 balls and a strike here to Peyton Wise. Wise, the right fielder today. Another one of these new faces we were talking about. That one set back foul. There's 3 balls and a strike. Apologies, called it 3-1 just a moment ago. And now the umpire having some disagreements. And now corrects the count to 2-2. Everybody's all in disarray here with this count. The fans, us, the umpire, nobody's on the same page. New count, I think we should call it. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Wise set down on strikes. First strikeout for Hall. And that'll be out number 1 here in the bottom of the second. I'll bring up Gabby Hooper. Hooper went 1 for 3 yesterday. Had a single in the final frame in the 7th. And she'll take her first hacks against Ariana Hall here. Chris standing over on first still. Hall takes a look at her. Now comes home. Hooper takes a breaking ball that drops beautifully into the zone there.
That was a really good pitch.
Bottom fell out of it.
Looked like Hooper wanted to pull a trigger, but last second decided not to.
No balls and a strike. That one misses. 1-1. One offering to Hooper is sent on the ground lightly over to third. Christensen's throw on to first is grabbed. Reaching out there is Sophia Bedell. She's able to hang on to that one. And there's out number 2 as Chris moves up to second. So the NATOs will have an RBI opportunity here for Olivia Martinez.
Now batting for
Martinez was 2 for 3 yesterday, had hits in both of her last 2 at-bats, including in that final 7th inning. We'll see what she has here. If she can find another base knock, Tornadoes will likely retake the lead at 2-1.
Absolutely, Brady. She looked good yesterday hitting the baseball. She looked consistent. Hands stayed through the zone pretty well.
Takes a ball high there, high and out. She's ahead to start things off. If Martinez gets aboard, it'll flip the lineup card back over to Carly Queen. 1-0. Fouled. Out of the reach of a parent here on the away bleachers. Or at least we'll call a fan. We don't want to make any assumptions about relations, right?
Exactly.
1-1. Nearly takes Martinez's head off. Luckily for these cats, they've got face masks.
Yeah.
No Giancarlo Stantons today. No, it won't. It'll rattle you a little bit, but it builds character. The 2-1 is roped to opposite field, but out of play. Now the count even at 2 apiece. Deuce is wild, Eli. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in inning number 2.
Here we go.
Pretty anticlimactic if she just throws a ball. And that one's sent right back where it came from, off of the glove of Hall. A throw on to first is in time to get Martinez. A nice play there from Katie Claytor, backing up the pitcher as it ricocheted off of Hall. And the score will stay right where it is, 1 apiece as we head to the 3rd inning. NATO's get a chance but cannot capitalize. They leave a runner on, and we are tied at 1. We head to the 3rd. Third inning here at the BC softball field. Logan Masinski back out for another inning of work, and Dykel Jones greets her with a high fly ball to center field. Wilborn back on it, and she will not make the catch. A tough play there. Wilborn not able to corral it. Rounding third here is Jones. The throw to the plate is off the line, and it's an inside the park. Technically home run. It will be. We'll see what the scoring is. It will be inside the park home run for Dykel Jones. Another one. 3rd time already in this game we've seen a ball go off of the glove of Wilborn in center field, and now.
I didn't even hit her glove that time, Brady.
It didn't get the glove?
I don't believe so.
It's really hard to tell from the angle we're sitting at with Masinski and the umpire both kind of blocking the view, but it looked like it had. I guess she tried to range back on it and wasn't able to get any piece of it. It looked like she was camped underneath it, but now as a result, Wilborn will be moved into left field, and Coach Bree Sheeran might want to be a little bit done with the antics in center field.
Yeah.
But Wilborn, obviously, above all, in this lineup and in the field and everything for her bat with that 380 clip. So now Queen and Wilborn will switch places. It's an inside the park home run to take the lead for Southern Virginia. Dykel Jones. That's one way to get a bomb. 2-1 Southern Virginia lead as Katie Claytor steps in, grounded into a fielder's choice the first time in this one. She hits one out of the reach of Gabby Hooper. Wilborn right back to her, chases after it. Instead, it'll be Queen that grabs it. Throw into Hooper. Throw to third is off the line.
She got a hold of that. She roped that ball.
It was a rip.
She roped that ball.
Katie Claytor with a triple, and so the first two batters of the frame, an inside the park home run and a triple on two really hard hit balls. And the softball gods kind of playing a joke on Wilborn there. She gets moved to left, and the ball immediately comes her way again.
Absolutely.
But not a play that she could have made, obviously, as it was a liner over Hooper's head. But just interesting as this one's whacked into the opposite field for a base hit. Coming across to score will be Claytor. Heading for second and getting in standing up is Sophia Bedell. So 3 straight extra base hits. And it's a 3-1 ball game. Masinski, looks like Southern Virginia hitters are starting to get a beat on her a little bit. Has gotten the control back really these last 2 frames, but now it's looking like Southern Virginia kind of starting to hone in on what they're looking for and taking advantage when they see it.
No doubt, especially that second time through the lineup now, and everyone's maybe got like the first at bat jitters out or whatever you want to call it, and here we are.
A meeting at the mound between Bree Sheeran and the infield. Talking things over with Masinski. Coach Sheeran, a bit of a lengthy discussion here. For lack of better words, probably telling her team lock in. So here we go. Masinski going to try and reel things in here. And now the wind really starting to kick up here at the BC softball field. That one hits the zone for strike 1.
Yeah, that's a nice pitch there coming out of the mound visit, bounce back right into it.
Trying to regroup, absolutely. Yeah. With Bedell over at second, not much of a threat to run. Can focus solely on the hitter here, Chloe Persinger, as she taps one softly. Masinski going to chase after it and will have no play. It's an infield single for Persinger. And Southern Virginia hot at the plate right now. 4 batters, 4 hits, 2 runs.
Hitting is contagious.
Absolutely. We'll see if the contagiousness spreads to the bottom of this order with Christensen, Davis, and Hall. The bottom 3 in the lineup. Coming up here, still nobody out yet in the top of the third. A 3-1 ball game. Showing bunt and sending one straight over towards Emily White and the Brevard coaches is Maddie Christensen. Christensen, the backstop for Southern Virginia in this one. Runners on the corners with nobody away. And if Masinski could come up with it out without allowing the runner on third, Sophia Bedell, to come across, that would be huge. Set up a double play opportunity with Davis. The 0-1, runner goes. This one's sent in the air. Center field, Queen camps out underneath it and will throw it in to Hooper, who will have no play at the plate. Bedell comes across. It's a 4-1 ball game after the sac fly from Christensen.
Yeah, it's a good piece of hitting right there.
Good news for Masinski is with the runner having to go back, the double play is still in effect here with Malia Davis coming up, who lined out to Carly Queen and left her first time. First pitch from Masinski. Breaking ball drops in there. That was a nice pitch. Front door breaking ball there from Masinski. Put some choir work going on in the Southern Virginia dugout right now. Some singing. Sultry tones of the SVU Knights. Double play ball. Hooper to second for one, on to first. In time! A double play. They get Davis just in the nick of time at first, and the Tornadoes escape. A 3-run inning for the Southern Virginia Knights, including an inside-the-park home run and an RBI double. NATO Bats coming back up in the bottom of the third with some work to do, trailing by 3. Bottom of the third, Carly Queen stepping up and got some news that Mackenzie Wilborn is, for at least for the time being, out of this lineup. It'll be number 13, Evie Layton, instead in that 2 spot, and not sure if it's a injury or what's happened. Now we're having it explained. One moment. And as they switch for Southern Virginia, 6 and 8 are going to be switching. Ariana Hall still in the circle, but number 6, Malia Davis, will now be the third baseman. A lot of wind, a lot of changes here this half inning between the two teams, but Ariana Hall still in the circle. Trying to keep up with all these changes. Got a little hectic there for a minute. First pitch from Hall misses high and inside. Carly Queen singled her first time up, and she takes one on the outside corner there to even the count at 1 apiece.
Yeah, it's important for the Natives to start getting some runners across the plate here.
Of course, already in the third inning. That one hit in the air.
Tough play.
Shallow left field coming on, and they're going to run into each other. It's going to hit the ground. Queen on her horse. She will head into second. She'll round second. She's going to go straight for third. No one's covering the bag, and they do not get the tag on her. Carly Queen slides in underneath the tag. How about it? Carly Queen, the aggressiveness showing off. She saw as soon as she rounded second, nobody was covering third. It was going to be a foot race, which quite honestly she may have lost, but she dipped in underneath that tag. And now we'll have a appeal from head coach Tiffany Pendleton in year 7 for Southern Virginia, but she quickly ends that argument and now just kind of patrols near the first baseline. And Southern Virginia, the infield, going to convene together here. Southern Virginia is good at one thing besides hitting softballs. It's stopping the game. How about Carly Queen?
There it is. The decision's finalized, Brady. Safe.
So that'll be a triple for Carly Queen to start things off. A single and a triple for her.
That's the momentum you need.
And that'll be Evie Layton after Mackenzie Wilborn was taken out of the lineup, possibly due to defensive miscues. And Evie Layton takes a ball. Looked like a good pitch. NATO's need to try and push a run or two across here at least in the third, if nothing else, especially with a runner on third and nobody out. You got to at least get the one. That one misses there, too. Two good pitches in a row from Hall.
Interesting. Interesting.
I feel like those two pitches have been getting called, too.
I agree. I don't know. Threw me off a little bit there. But, hey, good for the NATOs.
We'll take them. 2-0 coming from Hall. Same spot this time it's called, 2-1. Hitters count still for Layton. Evie Layton, 4 for 22 on the year. Seen some action. This time she swings right through one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jaden Harlow on deck. Hit into a double play, technically, after Mackenzie Wilborn tried to tag up from third and was thrown out of the plate. Now the 2-2 is hit into the opposite field. It's going to drop. Base hit for Evie Layton, and Carly Queen will come across. It's an RBI single. And the NATOs have their second run on the board. Back-to-back knocks to start off the third, and that's a good sign, especially with the heart of the order coming up in Harlow, Winkler, and Locklear.
What are they doing?
And now they're going to rule Evie Layton out or Carly Queen. I'm not sure. Is it a matter of I really
Carly
don't
had
know.
to go back. And they're saying Evie.
I don't understand. We're going to see what the call is here. And to just take away a base hit is kind of crazy.
Well, they're saying she stepped out of the box too early.
I don't care, personally.
Well, it's the rules.
Nope. Not anymore. She's safe. Let's keep going. The wind is blowing, and we've got, you guessed it, folks, another stoppage here in the third inning.
It's like the second one, third one of the third inning.
The one game that's not supposed to have timeouts and stoppages all over the place is playing like one that does have a lot of them. And the call will be out.
But see, this is where I get confused with
Evie
this.
Layton.
Granted, I'm not a softball aficionado with the rule books or nothing, but if we're going to call her out of first, and that still wouldn't, that's not affecting that third.
I guess when they call her out, stepping out of the box too early, it instantly deads everything. I'm really not 100% sure. This is an odd rule. This is an odd decision, and now they're going to talk some more.
Well, Southern Virginia's talking about how they have a choice. So what would the choices be? Do you think it'd be for her to be out or for her to stay there and she gets on? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, to be a fly on a wall over there and hear whatever is being spewed. You know, I am actually, next weekend, I'm starting some umpiring in the Little League down in Transylvania County. I think I could help these guys out.
Yeah, Brady, you probably could, bud. Probably could.
I'll probably just say everybody's safe. NATO's win, forfeit, it's over. So, Layton will be out. And trying to still get some clarification over here in the scorers area. Don't even know how you score that. Another batter's interference? So it will, being told, will go down as a strikeout for Layton. And so instead of a 4-2 ball game and a runner on first with nobody down, it's still a 4-1 game, or back to a 4-1 game with Carly Queen on third and one away. Jaden Harlow at the dish. Harlow sends one on the ground, throw on to first. The only play is there, and Queen comes across. Now it's 4-2, but with 2 away. 4-2 with 2 away, big difference from 4-2 with nobody on and a runner on first. And that's kind of
Yeah, absolutely.
a hose job from the refs right now, or the umps right now.
It's tough.
It's a weird call.
Yeah,
I don't know all the
I'm
rules and the
confused
nuances,
still.
but it seems a little bit silly to me. So Harlow grounds out, and it'll bring up Reagan Winkler, who takes upstairs for ball 1. Winkler singled her first time with 2 away in the first. NATOs have it back to a 2-run ball game with 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Hall upstairs again. It's 2-0. 2-0 to Winkler, sent back foul. She might have chased after one there.
And it looked like it was going outside, but it also looked like she was waiting on that specific pitch right there.
Yeah. Maybe had a little bit of late movement. Two 1. Winkler takes low, 3-1. Three balls and a strike, and if you're Winkler here, you got to be really selective.
Absolutely, especially with 2 outs.
Try and keep the line moving again for the second time. 3-1 is in the dirt, ball 4. So Winkler will walk. And the Natos have a runner on with 2 away for Riley Locklear, who grounded out her first time. And regardless of what happens the rest of this game, I think one of the big storylines will be that Evie Layton call. And just weird stuff. This one's in the dirt. Winkler
Something
not
I've
going
definitely
anywhere.
never seen before.
Yeah, I don't know. We've seen a few things like that. We've seen it over at Gilcone Field, too. Random batters interferences and stuff like that. Gotta love USA South officiating. The 1-0. High and outside, 2-0 to Locklear. Hall trying to reel things back in and regain her control before it's too late here in the bottom of the third, although working with 2 outs. The 2-0. Drops in
That's really
on
good
the
off-speed
inside
pitch
third.
there.
Yep. Hitters count here. 2 balls and a strike. Hall comes home with it. Locklear takes in the dirt. Winkler thinks about going, does not. She kind of has a laugh with Emily White over there saying, I should have gone. So obviously was not anticipating the extra bobble from the catcher Christensen. Now another 3-1 count here. Pitch to Locklear is right down the middle, grounded over to second where they'll make the play. A flip over to the shortstop by Dykel Jones puts it into the Tornado third. They do push a run across. An odd ruling sandwiched in between everything there, but the Natos now trail it by 2. 4-2 as we head to the fourth here from the BC softball field. Fourth inning here at Brevard. Natos trailing at 4-2 as the pitcher for Southern Virginia, Ariana Hall, steps in. She reached on an error on a fly ball to center earlier. And this one she sends right back where it came from for a leadoff single. So Hall gets the fourth inning started with a rip to center. And now the lineup flips back over to Chloe Nelson, who has reached base both times. A walk and an RBI double in her 2 trips.
Yeah, in Southern Virginia today has been making a lot of solid contact. Moving base runners around. Playing pretty decent defense as well.
Showing bunt, laying it down, but in foul territory is Nelson. Harlow was ready for it, but it strayed well to the left of the third base line. The wind out here really makes you appreciate the press box at Gilcone Field. That one slapped right to Masinski. He has to think about it for a second and now waits too long. Masinski, she looked at second, hesitated, then looked at first, hesitated, and then threw it. It was too late, and Locklear was really might not even been on the bag.
She wasn't.
So that's going to be an E1. And Chloe Nelson is aboard for the 3rd time. Southern Virginia has first and second with nobody out.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to know where you're going with the ball if it comes to you before the pitch is even made.
Yep. The one's in the dirt for ball 1 to Maddie Lloyd. And yeah, that's, again, one thing, even as a kid when I was playing baseball, one of the biggest preached things by my coaches was you got to know exactly what play you're making before the ball's even hit.
Yeah, Brady, we're on the street is like you were a young Mike Trout.
More of a Ken Griffey, but yeah, they foul that one back. Ball and a strike. If I had to compare myself to one player, my gameplay, it'd probably be David Ortiz.
Oh.
8-year-old me was like, they call me Little Poppy, actually. We kind of look alike.
Yeah.
Maybe a CC Sabathia. That one's upstairs, 2-1. Old CC Sabathia, former Cleveland Indian. Shout out Danny Carr.
They're the Guardians now.
They are. They guard last place in the AL Central. I'm sorry, Danny. To another bunt attempt there. It's popped into foul territory. 2 balls and 2 strikes here. Masinski with a chance to get a big out number 1 with 2 on and nobody out in a 2-run ball game. Two balls and 2 strikes. Masinski, a look over at the dugout. And now comes home with it. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout there for Masinski, gets Lloyd. And now there's one down as Dykel Jones steps into the box. She walked her first time up, and then last time in the 3rd inning hit that inside the park home run to get the 3rd inning rally going for the Knights. One away, runners on first and second for the Southern Virginia Knights. First pitch to Jones is in the dirt. Knocked down by Olivia Martinez, who at times we've talked about Logan Masinski has struggled with the control, and Olivia Martinez has done, for the most part, a really nice job of keeping the ball in front of her back there and not allowing runners to move up.
I agree 100%. She has been a pretty decent brick wall back here today.
The 1-0.
There's been a few that's been out of her reach and have been high, but that's it.
I mean, unless she was an Olympic vertical jumper, I don't know if she was getting to some of those.
Absolutely.
But, you know, that's why we do calf raises, right? Two balls and no strikes here. That one is blooped over the head of Locklear. Coming in to grab it is Queen. They'll go station to station, so nobody will score, but the bases are loaded with one away. So to get the Tornadoes more momentum as their bats come back up, but a rip here from Katie Claytor could really get things going for the Knights. So it'll be a single for Dykel Jones. She's got a walk, a home run, and a single on the day. This one grounded right to Harlow. Throw to home for one. Martinez will have no other play, but they do get the lead runner. If Martinez had immediately been firing to first, could have had a chance, but Claytor was moving pretty quickly, and Martinez was going to have to turn from her shoulders facing left field to right field really quickly. So 5-2 fielder's choice results in out number 2, and here's Sophia Bedell trying to keep things alive. Bases still loaded with 2 away. First pitch from Masinski misses.
I'm so confused about the umpire strikes on the
yeah. Well, that one did look like it was a little bit out, but also one, like we said, we've seen called in this one. There's a butterfly right there. You love to see it. Good luck for the Tornadoes, maybe. It's kind of getting in my way of seeing the pitch, but it's in the dirt. Oh, yeah, you do. Heard you were indulging in some afternoon, some snacks yesterday over by the practice field.
Yeah.
Maybe some Dunkin'.
We can call it that.
The 2-0. Misses. If you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, you know. And shout out to our head football coach, Bill Kaya, by the way. Just wanted to throw one out there for him.
He's very understanding. Man.
Very graceful. 3-0. Misses. It's a 4-pitch walk, and another run will come across for Southern Virginia.
You know, Deb Deanna, that's also another very understanding person. And
absolutely. No, she is.
I'd like to give her a shout-out today as she threw out the first pitch for us.
She did. She did.
She did very well.
I heard that she might be coming in relief in about the 6th. Heard they got her uniform. Instead of a number, it just says DD on the back. First pitch from Masinski. Gets the outside corner for strike 1. No, I actually heard that Deb Deanna and her husband, Coach L, will actually both be subbing in late in this game for the Brevard softball team. Coach L is probably grinding, working on a 3-peat in the USA South Conference as that one is in the dirt. Masinski will come up to get it. Martinez didn't want to leave her post.
Yeah, that's a good block right there by Olivia.
1-1 from Masinski. Gets the outside corner there, really outside corner, strike 2. Strike zone seems to be fluctuating a little bit throughout this one. The 1-2. Tapped, and Harlow will let it roll foul smartly. So ball and 2 strikes, a 5-2 ball game here in the top of the 4th. Masinski ahead 1-2 here on the batter, Chloe Persinger.
Yeah, this will be a big out right here for the NATOs. Prevent some damage for sure.
Some early make or break time. The 1-2. Set back foul, and Persinger putting up a good fight here. The 1-2 offering coming here from Logan Masinski. Here it is. This is high and outside. Count even up. Nowhere to put him. Bases loaded. It's number 20, Dykel Jones, over at first. Number 22, Katie Claytor, over at second. And then number 15, Sophia Bedell at first. Everybody ready to run with 2 away. 2-2 is poked over towards the Southern Virginia dugout, and Persinger will see another one. Good fight here, good battle between Masinski and Persinger. Still yet to see who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, this is a good battle on both sides for both people here.
Flag blowing in center field. The wind kicking up. The 2-2 is hit. Past Gabby Hooper. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. And it's a 7-2 ball game for the NATOs. Southern Virginia with a 5-run lead now. So the battle ends with Persinger coming out on top with an RBI single. And it'll bring up Maddie Christensen in a 5-run game. Goodness. This wind is really starting to get nuts.
It's picking up for sure, Brady.
Still 2 away as Masinski has one fouled off by Christensen. Maddie Christensen, the Southern Virginia catcher, is flied out to left and has a sacrifice fly also on her line.
So I was going to put it back.
5-run ball game now. Runners on first and second, still 2 away. Masinski ahead 0-1 to the 7-0 hitter and Knight catcher. Another foul, and that one ricocheted off Martinez, and she's got to get herself together real quick. Taylor Hanna and Emily White both will step out to take a look at her.
Yeah, that one caught her good.
Looks like she'll be good to keep going. And now Hanna and White will retreat back to the dugout. Martinez looks to be good to go. Feels like it's been a really long top of the 4th.
I agree.
When the NATOs do get another chance at the plate, it'll be Chris Wise and Hooper. The 3 due up. Masinski well ahead here, 0-2. And the pitch. Got her looking, strike 3, right on the outside corner. A little bit of showmanship there from the home plate umpire. And Southern Virginia puts up a 3 spot here in the 4th. They hold a 7-2 lead as we head to the home half of the inning. NATOs with some work to do. Back in just a moment. Bottom of the 4th here as Chris leads things off and sends one back up the middle. Picked up, and the throw is dropped at first. Katie Claytor delivered a strike over to Sophia Bedell. And that'll be an E3 to start things off. So Summer Christ has reached twice, but both of them have been on an error. An E5 and an E3. That was a lightly hit ball up the middle. It was a good job by Claytor to get to it right around the second base bag and throw a strike to first, and Bedell just couldn't hang on. So we'll bring up Peyton Wise, who struck out her first time. Tornadoes needed the leadoff runner on, down 5 here in the 4th. Now one whacked foul out of play down the right side by Wise. Tornadoes down 5. I believe that the run rule is 8 after 5, so not quite there yet, but definitely want to score some runs here to keep yourself in this game and to negate the threat of that. 0-1 from Hall.
That's a really good
Misses.
pitch.
Oh, no, on the outside corner. It's
That's
a
a
strike.
really good pitch. That's probably been her best pitch. They lived on that outside corner type.
I agree. The 0-2. Wise fouls it off. And I'm finding, like, for those that don't know, like, the way that we call the games here, we're directly on ground level watching this, and it is a cool view, but I do got to say it does lend to not knowing what's happening until a couple seconds after the play sometimes, as that one is roped just foul on the ground by Wise. And God forbid a lefty hitter comes to the plate, the umpire completely blocks any view you have of the circle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sitting here craning my neck trying to see the pitch. But you got to work with what you got to work with. No balls and 2 strikes here to Peyton Wise. And the pitch is right off the glove of Bedell, but she will take it to first and get the out. And now a throw back over to second. And it looks like Chris is going to stay put at first. All kinds of base running confusion there. I think Chris was worried that Bedell was going to catch that ball, so they tagged out on the bag. They threw to second. Chris went back to first, and now time's called, and we've got some more ump show, folks. They're going to talk things over at the second base bag. Not the umpires, though. One umpire, the field umpire, is talking to every Southern Virginia infielder. At least 1 out is going to be recorded here, if not 2, and we'll see as head coach Tiffany Pendleton. Goodness, Tiffany Pendleton and these umpires are making it a nightmare for a scorer. And now the umpires will convene. Well, right near Pendleton, the 3 of them are going to talk things over as Southern Virginia all going to come together and talk about what just happened. Might as well start throwing some media timeouts in these softball games. We'll be back in just a moment when we figure out exactly what just happened here from the BC softball field. So Christ will be safe, it's determined. It's an unassisted put out of Peyton Wise. And this one is whacked in the air to left field, out of the reach of the left fielder Autry, but it will be foul. Hooper got a good piece of that one. Gabby Hooper grounded out her first time back in the second. (7-2) Southern Virginia lead. Gabby Hooper in the box behind 0-1 here with 1 away and a runner on first. Breaking ball misses high, 1-1. Ball and a strike here to Hooper. Hall still out there going strong. Gabby takes low and outside, 2-1, a throw back behind Chris, but she's in with a dive.
And you're definitely looking for a gap right here for the Tornadoes.
Hitters count here to Hooper. Sends one in the air. Right
Just
center
like that.
field, and she will find a gap. Failing to cut it off there is the center fielder Nelson, but Chris didn't get a great jump and show up to stay put at second. Tornadoes will take it, though. Single from Hooper makes it first and second with one away. The 9-hole hitter Martinez coming to the dish. If Chris had gotten a good jump there, she could have easily gotten third the way that Nelson overran that one trying to cut it off.
Yeah, but it looked like she was indecisive because she didn't know if they were going to catch it or not because right field was tracking over here.
Either way, the way it stands, once again, first and second with one away here in the bottom of the fourth. Olivia Martinez at the plate, a big hack and a miss there to start the sequence off. Martinez grounded out to short her first time. No balls and a strike. Martinez stabs that one, and oh my goodness, truck stick Gabby Hooper. Throw to the plate. Chris is going to be in there safely. Time is called. They might send Chris back to third. Hooper just ran through. Oh. So Chris is going to be sent back. Martinez will be safe at first. It's going to be a fielder's choice.
See, I don't understand that one either because is it the runner's job to try and avoid the infielder right there?
It's, oh, goodness. Here we go again. Chris is sent back to second. And Hooper will be out for number 2. So Martinez is at first. Chris is at second. It's a fielder's choice. What'd you call that? A fielder's choice for unassisted? Who knows? Here comes another stoppage. The ump show is back, folks, by popular demand in Brevard. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, we've got everything figured out now. Chris standing on second, Martinez on first with 2 away. Carly Queen is at the dish. She's 2 for 2 with a single and a triple today. First pitch is on the inside corner for strike 1. And I'll tell you what, if we ever start a powder puff team here, Gabby Hooper might go first overall after the hit we just saw her lay on the second baseman. I mean, that's just tenacity in the open field. The 0-1 sent it right back where it came scathed. And guess what, folks? Shocker, there's been some more really confusing rulings and plays. And it's a 7-2 ball game as we head to inning number 5. Southern Virginia holding the lead in game 1 of a doubleheader. Fifth inning here at the BC softball field. Southern Virginia leading it 7-2. It'll be Malia Davis to lead things off here in inning number 5. She takes outside for strike one. Davis has lined out to left and is grounded into a double play. Still looking for her first knock of this one. Masinski going to try and keep her from it. Oh, one's in the dirt.
Yeah, and Olivia Martinez took a beat back here today.
She has definitely been getting her money's worth back there. Masinski's 1-1. Low and inside, 2-1. If Southern Virginia were able to score 3 runs in this inning, it would put the run rule into effect if the Tornadoes were unable to score in the bottom half. But obviously, a lot would have to transpire for that to happen. But they'll start things off with a leadoff single here. Malia Davis gets her first hit of the afternoon. It's a single to put her aboard, and it'll send things over to Ariana Hall, the pitcher. Masinski's first pitch to Hall is sent on the ground over to first. Winkler will step on the bag and go to second, but not in time. So it'll be a fielder's choice for out number 1.
Number 3, Chloe Nelson.
So a 3 unassisted fielder's choice there for Reagan Winkler. Retires Hall, and now back to the top of the order, it's Chloe Nelson. She's reached all 3 times today. This one is blooped into right field, and it's going to drop between Locklear and Wise. Heading into third is Davis, and a bloop single there for Chloe Nelson. Now she's reached base all 4 times. She's been to the plate, a walk, an RBI double, and then 2 singles. Strategically placed base hit there. And we've seen a couple of those today, right in no man's land between Locklear and Wise. Showing bunt and laying it down now is number 17, Maddie Lloyd. She will move up the runner, Nelson, from first. So now Southern Virginia with 2 in scoring position after the sack bunt.
This is a crucial out here because, as you were saying, the run rule effect. And we don't, you know, if you're the natives, you don't want that to happen.
Absolutely not. You want to be able to compete all the way through. First pitch from Masinski misses low. Dykel Jones at the plate. She's reached all 3 times herself. A walk, an inside the park home run, and a single. So a tough out here for Masinski. We'll see if she can get it. 1-0. Chopped over to the circle. Masinski bobbles it. She will have no play. A run comes across. It'll be an E1. Second error for the Tornadoes. 4th error we've seen between the 2 teams in this game. 5th, correction. 3 for Southern Virginia, 2 for the Natos. And now it's an 8-2 game with Katie Claytor at the dish. Runners on the corners, and Claytor takes a strike. Now the runners get caught up. A throwback into third is not in time. So now it'll be a stolen base for Dykel Jones. Kind of baited the Tornadoes into that one. And now 2 in scoring position. And just like that, a base knock from Katie Claytor would get us in that run rule territory. So another pretty crucial out for Masinski. The 0-1. In the air, left field, it's going to drop in front of Layton. 1 run comes across. Coming across now is Dykel Jones, and it's a 10-2 ball game. An RBI single for Katie Claytor. her second base hit of the ball game. And now we got a new pitcher coming in. It's going to be number 11, Grace Reynolds. That's going to be it for Masinski. And we will step aside while Reynolds takes her warm-ups. And we'll be back for the possible final touches in this one, a 10-2 ball game in the fifth when we return. Back here in the fifth, Grace Reynolds, the new pitcher. Reynolds sitting with a 1-7 record. An ERA near 10. And a nice breaking ball there to start her afternoon off. NATO's trailing at 10-2 now. The only runner aboard is number 22, Katie Claytor, after that RBI single cleared the bases. "12 hits for Southern Virginia here today. Only 5 for the NATOs. Now remember, folks, game 2 coming up after this. It is a doubleheader. And now that one in the dirt for ball 2. Martinez pumps a throw over to first.
And you got to get this out here if you're the NATOs. I mean,
you don't want it to get more than 8. You want one run to get you back out of that run rule territory.
Absolutely.
This one lasered by Bedell. Look out. Rising and flying over that tornado dugout. If that was fair, is headed right for our beautiful, esteemed practice field. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here in the fifth. See if Reynolds can buckle down. And that's a ball. A throw by Martinez behind the runner will not be a close play. And now the count's full. Payoff pitch coming here from Grace Reynolds. That one is on the outside corner for strike 3. Got her looking. The umpire might have got tired of watching Southern Virginia hit. That was well outside. Regardless, it's strike 3. It's out number 3, and it's a 10-2 ball game as we head to the bottom of the fifth. NATO's got to get a run to keep this one alive. Back here in just a moment. Bottom of the fifth, NATO's trailing it by 8. They got to push a run across to keep this one going. It's Evie Layton to start things off, and she takes strike one. Layton came in for Mackenzie Wilborn, only one at-bat to this point. If you remember, it was that sort of questionable play, really confusing play where the Tides may have turned a little bit. She got an RBI base hit, ended up being ruled out, saying she left the box early. It was ruled a strikeout, and it kind of doomed that inning for the Tornadoes. She takes strike two. So that's all that's on Layton's line so far is a strikeout in the book, although she was not actually punched out. No balls and 2 strikes here. That one's well upstairs. Harlow on deck. Winkler in the hole. The 1-2. Fouled off. Nice piece of defensive hitting there by Layton to get a piece of that one.
And you're fighting for your life right here, every at bat with being the NATOs here.
NATO's trying not to fall to 6-13, but the score does say that might be what happens. 1-2. Popped up, out of the reach of anyone. A little short bloop pop, but not near enough to a fielder for Southern Virginia to make a play and record an out, so Layton's still in there fighting. The 1-2. Just misses, and that's another one that we've seen called today.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough getting a read on the umpire today in the strike zone.
It's tough to be an ump. I'm sure after I start this umpiring gig, I'll have more sympathy, but that one is hit. Blooped in a left field, a leadoff base hit for Layton. They won't call her out on that one. Layton with what is technically her first base hit of the game. Those of us who have been watching know it's really her second. But I digress. Layton on first with nobody out. Bottom of the fifth, Harlow coming up. NATO's going to try and extend this one. First pitch to Harlow. Popped up. Coming on Hall, she'll make the grab for out number 1. So here's Winkler. She's reached twice, a walk and a single. Going to try and do it a third time and push this one along. Remember, folks, if you missed it, NATOs are trailing by 8. The run rule is 8 after 5. So they need another run to continue play here as Winkler takes a late outside strike call. Granted, it did look like a strike from the start based off the zone we've seen, but pretty late call. The 0-1. This is upstairs, 1-1.
And if you're Reagan right here, you're just looking to pass the torch on to the next person in the lineup.
Absolutely. Winkler is up right now, and unless something wacky happens, Locklear will be up after as Winkler takes high, 2-1. The 2-1. Swing and a foul. Winkler just gets a piece of that one into the catcher's mitt. It's 2-2.
Gotta have a good 2-strike approach right here.
Two. Sent to the right side. Turning and throwing to second in time for one is the first baseman, but they will not get Winkler to double her off. So there's out number 2, and Southern Virginia does get the lead runner, Layton. So it's going to come down to Riley Locklear here.
Now batting for Tornadoes, second baseman number 9, Riley Locklear.
So a 3-6 fielder's choice. And it's all going to come down to Riley Locklear here in a 10-2 game. Locklear has put the ball on the ground twice. One was a fielder's choice, one just a straight up ground out. Throw behind Winkler, not in time there. No balls and a strike here to the Tornadoes second baseman. Final hope for this one. 10-2 here in the fifth. 0-1. Misses low.
That's a good location, though, if you're pitching. Trying to just get something to play on the ground.
Just trying to finish it off.
First or second, yeah.
It is a good pitch. The 1-1. Low and outside, 2-1.
And you hear it from Southern Virginia's dugout right there. They definitely wanted that one called.
Yeah, they're ready for game 2. Tornadoes, on the other hand, trying to fight to keep this one going. All it takes is the 1. 2-1 ripped in the air, right field, chasing after it, and making the grab in foul ground for out number 3 is Matty Lloyd. And that is going to do it here for game number 1 of the doubleheader. The Tornadoes falling in this one 10-2. And we will be back here in just a moment for final stats, thoughts, and recaps. The Tornadoes drop another one here. And that is 3 home losses in a row after the sweep against Mary Baldwin yesterday and the Game 1 loss here against Southern Virginia. Going to try not to make it 4 in Game 2 here against the Knights. We will return in just a moment for final stats, thoughts, and recaps here from the BC softball field prior to Game 2. Back here from the BC softball field. Tornadoes falling in this one 10-2. Just a quick final recap of things. Looking at the Southern Virginia lineup and what they did. Dykel Jones was 2 for 3. Katie Claytor was 2 for 4. An RBI single and a triple on her line for Jones. She had an inside the park home run. Chloe Persinger 2 for 3 with an RBI single and an infield single. And then you look at the pitching performance from Ariana Hall. 5 innings, 6 hits, just 1 run allowed. 1 earned run allowed, rather. 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout for her. She moves to 2-3 and will lower that ERA a little bit. Came into the day with a 5.49 ERA. For the Tornadoes, 2 for 3 was Carly Queen, a single and a triple for her. And the only other Tornadoes to record hits were Mackenzie Wilborn in the first, who was later pulled, Reagan Winkler, who went 1 for 2, and then Gabby Hooper, who went 1 for 2. On the mound, Logan Masinski went 4 2/3, 12 hits, 10 runs, only 6 of them earned, with 4 walks and a pair of strikeouts. And then Grace Reynolds recorded the final out in the 5th, a third of an inning for her, no hits, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Nados